All right, Mopar people, welcome back to the channel. I'm just Mopar Joe, and we're at Mr. Rick's tearing down the 512 to see what the deal is. Here's where we're at so far, and you can see the carnage of the the valley pan that blew up, and it was patched right there. So a giant crack. I don't even know if I can peel that off. We can look at it from the underside. I think the quench pads look really good on my pistons. Here's our pads. And I think they looked really good. If you see right along here, kind of where the chamber lined up, this only had 37 thousandths quench. So 40 thousandths gasket, and this is out 2.5 or 3 thousandths out of the hole. And I wasn't scared to run it that tight. It worked. I don't think that's what causes an issue here, but the pistons don't really have a lot of rock to them. Everything was done correctly. But our next step will be pull off so our next step is pull these rockers back off. I just left them loose the other day, and get this head off. We'll see what those pistons look like. There's a hole or something random. This was the problem, the larger problem side of 3 and 5 that had 0 or 100% leak down. We'll know in just a minute. Here's what a horrendous blow up of a valley pan looks like. Good little crack there. I don't think that one's a crack. It's just a spot, but the big one was back here, so we're digging in. Head number 2 is off. Had a little bit of rust. I noticed that, but nothing major. The quench pad, you can clearly see where they wrapped over. All that looks good. Not like one piston was white or blue or yellow or a random color from something happening. I don't know. Time to flip it over. Get the pan off. We are flipped over. And I did use, as recommended by Thomas Ward, the windage tray with the gasket made into it. I did not put any sealer with it. It did pretty good. I always thought that thing leaked. I had assumed it was leaking, but it could have been from around the girdle or something like that. Right now, we're not even taking the girdle off. We're going to get 3 and 5 out because they were the 2 big dirty culprits, which actually need to be this side, if you know what I mean. Get 3 and 5 out, drop them out the bottom, and see what we have. I wanted to show you the bearing as it comes off, so we'll know. I'm guessing I got 100 passes on there. And the bearing stayed on, like always. Boom. It hadn't even lost a coating.
You got a little compression. Not bad bearings.
Well, I know. I just wanted to be sure. We got the camera down here so you can see exactly what we see whenever the piston comes out. Our money is on. The rings are broken.
That's your money. I don't have a clue what's going on.
Well, there you go. I also don't have any money, so. Better give birth, I guess.
Yeah. I sure hoped we were going to see broke rings. Now what do we do?
Take it up on a bench. Let's look.
I don't see nothing.
Great. Look at that scuff. Go back around that way. What is up with that?
I don't know. But where is the compression loss?
In my mind, I guess.
The gauge said 0. This doesn't look like 0 to you and me. So now what are we supposed to do?
We got the center 2, 3 and 5 out right now. Everything looked normal. We're just going to go down the line, get the rest of them out of here. I'm probably not going to end up putting my other heads on because Rick has reminded me that in order to do that properly, it would take a while. And I've got about 3.5 to 5 weeks or something until No Name Nationals. And I need to get the engine back in the car. I need to test the engine in the car. But we do currently have the cam out. And I realize if I don't show you, you won't know. Camshaft's out of there. We're checking cam bearings and stuff and getting ready to put the new one in. I'll have the specs for those at some point in this video. But otherwise, if something cool shows up, I'll show it to you. We have all the pistons out. And the bearings look like brand new. And don't tell anybody, but this is only a 3/8 pickup.
Yeah.
Rick reminds me of that every time he sees it. Watch this crank spin. That's wonderful. It should be able to stay in there. There's no trash in this engine. We didn't have to tear it down like we tore down the other 512. So the next step is replace these old ugly freeze plugs. There's still a chance of one of them blowing out. So I've got the better, deeper ones. And other people sympathized with me in the comments about that last time. Get those out. Oh yeah, the reason why we tore it down. I don't think we have an idea at all. Let me knock that over. See how close these rings are lined up? There's number 7. I thought 7 was pretty good. Like 205 or 210 cranking.
Yeah.
So the rings being lined up I don't think means anything at this point. There's still lots of crosshatch in the block. The skirts look perfect, minus a few little, well, for the most part, they look perfect. There's no cracks, there's no anything. So maybe we just tore this down for fun. We're still trying to figure that out. But here's our new cam. And I'll put the specs up for it on the screen now so you can look. I was told it has a faster ramp rate than my old cam, and it's about 12 more degrees of duration, so it should be more exciting. We went to swap it into the engine. Here's our teardown coming right along. Yes, we're tearing it all the way down for people who think that we wouldn't. Just inspect everything. All the bearings look really nice. There's a journal, there's a crank. We got to clean the crank up when it comes out, but here's a cam bearing. I went to pull the old cam out. Let me zoom in here. And it had basically bedded itself into this bearing. This engine had like 550 pounds open spring pressure. And these were Cleveite bearings. So the new rule of thumb is if you got more than 400 pounds, you're supposed to be using PDP 17s. And I didn't know that. But Rick has now enlightened me. So we'll be driving some cam bearings in and maybe honing some bores. Are we going to show the...
Oh yeah.
We'll show the boring part as well. No pun intended. We figured we would check the straightness again since it's been ran 100 passes or whatever. Are you sure the last time they tried to say the needle was broken or the gauge was broken?
Well, tell them they got to look up here and they'll see that it's up.
Mm-hmm.
That baby is just serious straight, so all I can tell you.
That's great.
Yep.
And the journals look brand new. They really do. Wonderful. Here's our new Summit Racing
Total seal bag.
total seal bag rings. And here's the difference.
Ported top. So this means you don't have to have drilled pistons or drilled, ported. In other words, for these strokers like from 440 source, we don't have this option, and you don't have drilled tops option, and same way with the sides. So, this is supposed to get pressure behind the ring and push it out to the cylinder.
Yeah.
And
there we go. And it says gas port slots. Let me pull that out. There we go. The gas port slots in our gas ported rings must face up when installing your pistons. That makes sense to me. It'd be nice if I didn't have to file them.
well,
It's definitely touching.
that answers that question.
But Now here's another one. I'll wait on you. Here's my question. Would you rather have this or their Total Seal, the gapless ones that have the little tangs that hang over?
Well, I guess this, just because.
I mean, this seems more adjustable to me, right? You can't file those others, can you?
Well, they're made to where you don't have to file. I've never used those gapless. Some people like them, but it's not like everybody's screaming gapless.
Right. Here's my other question. Should this surface finish be different for that ring versus like a normal Total Seal?
I don't think they don't say anything about that. I don't believe it's supposed to be any different. It's just this is just doing the same thing as how we used to drill the top of the pistons or the top of the come in from the sides. For people who have pistons like the 440 source, where that isn't an option, and this way you can have gas ports.
Looks good to me.
Yeah.
I dropped in an old ring here, and right now that's a 15. It's actually a 15 and a 16 that are stacked. That's 31 thousandths. And if we look at their cheat sheet, I'm at about 7 thousandths. 4.375 times 7 thousandths is, you'd round up to 31. So I was ready for a 350 shot if I had to. Not that I ever did, but the Boy Scouts say to be prepared, right? We decided to tighten the rings up to 28 and 30. I'm probably never in my life going to own a 350 stage of nitrous, so there was no need. It can still spray, I think, 250 with that, so should be good to go. New rings are in process of filing, and we'll have this thing back together sometimes in the next year or so. So anyway, all right, Mopar people, welcome back to the channel. I'm just Mopar Joe.